We need to know that we can come here. That is why there's a social worker here. There will be a psychologist here. There will be an auxiliary social worker here. There are so many child and youth care workers here. So we want them to make sure that they carry the message that early detection saves lives. This is about prevention. So let's not wait for the young person to sink in drugs and then we want to take them. We must educate young people about the impact of drugs as part of outreach programs that must happen in this center. We must encourage people to do HIV testing, but also to come and register here so that they don't default on their ARVs. It has an ECD section. This ECD, it's about intervention, keeping our girls in school, so that when they do find themselves pregnant, they can quickly bring the baby here when the baby is 10 days old and go back to school, so that before they even think about the second child, that they can come and make sure that we are going to provide contraceptives, that they don't have to go queue at the clinic or where the nurse will say, bring your mother. So the idea is that we want, if you know you are sexually active, so that you prevent pregnancies, you prevent STIs and HIV, you can come and collect condoms here at this center, so that you don't get infected by HIV. We don't tell you about HIV once you had it. We make sure you don't get it. We have a profile of abused women, we have a profile of the perpetrators themselves, and we provide services to all of them. And that's why you are getting this beautiful center. It's for us as social development to make sure that the social ills that happen in our communities are prevented before they happen, and communities get support. And we want to thank the German Development Bank for believing in us and for believing. Yes, it took a long time. It became frustrating at some stage, but we're here now. We have the energy, we have sorted out our problems, and we will be opening our CCCs for communities to work.
It's a partnership between the South African government and the German government. The intention is for us to be able to provide prevention programs. The partnership started in 2010, and the intention was to provide infrastructure. As you can see, the center, and then social development will have a space where we can provide services. Amongst the services that will be provided in what we call the community care centers, the first is we're going to be having skills development for young people that will be taught on different skills, but more softer skills that makes it easier for us to build caring communities. We'll be fighting gender-based violence, so that will be space where men can come, what we call a men's lounge, where they can come and talk to each other, counsel each other, be friendly and be able to carry each other's burdens so that they don't take it out on their wives. We're going to have people that will be collecting their chronic medication from here. The intention is that our communities don't have to walk long distances. They don't have to wake up too early to queue at the clinics. But also social development, we are preparing for the fourth industrial revolution. So we're going to have a computer lab that's going to be teaching young people computers with connectivity, so that the people around this area can also access the internet. They can market their businesses, they can connect beyond just their villages, and they can have, social media as young people and be connected. We have also will be using the center to intervene in terms of keeping girls in school. So we have an ECD that will be taking children from 10 days old, so that when our girls fall, we make sure that before they would even think about a second, they are back in school. But they are back in school knowing they have left their child in a safe environment where the child will be well looked after. We'll have a CNDC where communities will come and eat, especially those older persons that are living alone, people that are on chronic medication but are not qualifying for any of our social security SASSA grants. They will come here and have a meal a day. We'll have an office. We've got the administration block. Tshireletseho NPO will be running the facility on behalf of social development, because we believe that we need to empower our upcoming NPOs, and part of empowering them, we need to give them the responsibility, because they are an NPO from here and therefore they are given a place to work. We'll have an office, we have a social worker placed here, so that communities can know where to find a social worker in this area. The councillor, the SASSA, currently SASSA comes here once a week with a car, but now they will have an office where they will work from. We have boardrooms, we have a big recreation facility, an amphitheater, a play area for the children. We've got the intergenerational dialogue site, which is where our older persons luncheon clubs, and because we believe in intergenerational dialogue, so our older persons will be able to interact with children. We planted trees donated by the kids who run the Plant a Tree Foundation for Children, so the children in this community will look after the trees. But we also have a Light of Dreams NPO that has donated the toys and made the cots for the babies, the tables for the children. So we are very guaranteed that our ECD is going to make sure our kids are stimulated, because stimulation is very important and they are well cared of. And that is basically a tour around the center and the services social development will provide. Obviously, when you are an orphan, we get notified because our systems are integrated, hence part of why we are fighting for unabridged birth certificates. In most people think the unabridged birth certificate is about tourism, but actually it's about also social development services. Because when you have an unabridged certificate, you have the details of the mother, you have the details of the father. When Home Affairs issues a death certificate, the system automatically sends us a notification that this child has lost the mother. And we immediately get the social worker. You send the social worker, not everywhere in some corner, you send the social worker directly to a family whose details we already have. When that child loses the father, the system is able to tell us. That is why unabridged birth certificates are very important. Then immediately when that child is now declared, the child is an orphan, we start first by taking the child to the children's court. So a social worker and a canalization officer will put together a report that will take the child to before the children's court, so that we ensure first and foremost we protect the child's inheritance. That is the first thing. And ECB in the program, of which runs from here, we've got 39 child and youth care workers who will be based in this center and distributed to different communities. The child will then go through the children's court, and the child will be allocated a child and youth care worker. The first step is for the child to stay in their own home, so that auntie and mom cannot come and claim whatever that belongs to the child. So we're reducing the removing of children from their homes to orphanages, because when they turn 18, they still have to get out of the orphanage. So we're now trying to keep children in their communities. The second part is that the child will then be registered for a particular grant. Based on if the parents had not left anything for the child would get a foster care grant, and we put in the foster care system. But if they are linked to a child and youth care worker through the ECBND, they will not be put in the foster care system, because part of why we have ECBND is to protect children as siblings so that we keep them together, because in the foster care we have to break them apart. A foster parent only wants one child, but there's 3 siblings. So with the ECBND, we keep the children together as siblings, and they get onto the child-headed household register, and then firstly they will come to the center to get counseling and to be taken through the grief. They will come to the center to get food. They will come to the center to get counseling, but they will also come to the center to access psychologists and social work services. Then they will also come to the center to bring whatever that is dirty. They will come to the center to eat. They will come to the center to do homework, and they will come to the center to make new friends, so that they remain children that are known and understood in the community. And that is what an orphaned child will benefit. Part of what they will be educated with, obviously, issues around sex and sexuality, because we use these centers for HIV prevention, for alcohol and drug abuse prevention, for gender-based violence prevention. So these centers, with the work of the people that work here, and providing this comprehensive service, would also do early intervention and early detection. So that is what a life of an orphan would look like, and the services they will get from the center.
This center is about early detection. That is the core message. Early detection saves lives. So it's early detection of gender-based violence, early detection of HIV and AIDS, early detection of alcohol and drug abuse, early detection of orphaned and vulnerable children in our communities, early detection of anything that is not normal, that happens, that we ourselves are not comfortable with.
Let's all go. Put in your hand. 1, 2, 3. Wash it. Done. Hey, very good. Yes. So very fit some more. Okay. And you see what I this one life is. This one it's exciting.
One side.
No, my nails, but I need my nails.
Thanks.
All right.
Yes, okay. Boikhutsong Community Care Center officially opened by the Honorable Deputy Minister of Social Development, Mrs. Hendrietta Bogopane-Zulu, on the 20th of September 2019. Voila!